Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Anthony with themovieblog.com, and I'm back here with another video. This time we're here for another installment of The Movie News, our weekly or sometimes monthly recap of all the movie news that we can shake a stick at. Here's your movie news for November 19th, 2022. Well before Prime Video's The Boys or even Netflix's Daredevil series, one movie did the R-rated superhero thing first, and that was Kick-Ass. The Matthew Vaughn adaptation of the Mark Miller and John Romita Jr. creation was something audiences never saw before. A preteen anti-hero vigilante named Hit Girl kicking ass all over town with her questionably responsible father. That's what Kick-Ass was. And while not technically its lead, Chloe Grace Moretz made an impressive debut in the superhero world. But it looks like her association with superhero movies may not be over. In a new interview, we find out that Chloe Grace Moretz could be joining the MCU in the future. Since her amazing performance in Kick-Ass, Moretz has gone on to become a talented actress with many roles under her belt. As part of her latest release, The Peripheral, on Prime Video, the actress discusses interest in more superhero movies. Speaking to comicbook.com, Moretz reveals that she was already in talks with Marvel Studios regarding a role in the MCU. The quote reads as follows. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it. I mean, I think for me, I would be really interested in playing a villain in Marvel or DC and jumping into more of the darker side of the role. It's unclear exactly when these talks take place or exactly which projects Moretz might be in contention, but her desire to play a villain is definitely interesting. Since the release of Kick-Ass in 2010, superhero films have evolved in many ways. Kick-Ass itself was quite violent, and while she played a great vigilante, Hit Girl racked up the body count. I would love to see Moretz return to the genre and offer something fresh that excites her. Maybe as a vampire in the Blade movies? I'm trying to figure out where she would fit and what kind of role she would take. What do you guys think? Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these small updates and you want to see more, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm gonna check you guys later. Peace. So 20th Century Studios just announced the next chapter in the Apes saga, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The rebooted Apes film began in 2011 with Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which was actually one of my first reviews after taking over as senior editor of the movie blog. The subsequent sequels, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes, broadened the world in which the films inhabit. The Apes saga follows Caesar, a chimp who evolves to a higher intellect after receiving an experimental drug meant to help Alzheimer's patients with their memories. The storyline is simple in structure, but it's emotionally complex. The journey of Caesar was both epic and heartbreaking. Caesar struggles to keep his family and his clan afloat in the face of tremendous adversity. 20th Century Studios has announced its upcoming film, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The film is set to debut in 2024 and, as we previously reported, stars Owen Teague, Freya Allen, and Peter Macon. Wes Ball is directing and is best known for his work on the Maze Runner films. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes will take place many years after the events of War for the Planet of the Apes. They also released the first image from the film, and it looks kind of breathtaking. You can check it out right here. I'm 100% on board for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm down for this. I love the first two movies, and I plan on catching up on the third one before this one releases. Are tickets on sale yet? Look, Caesar's journey was eloquently told, and I really hope Wes Ball has the chops to pull this one off. We won't have our original director, but we've got a new one with a fresh look. I'm going to miss Matt Reeves, but he's clearly busy with Warner Brothers and the Batman world. What do you guys think of this news? Are you excited for a new entry in this franchise? Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. So, director Bassam Tariq has officially departed Marvel Studios' upcoming film Blade. Now, there are reports that the star of the film, Mahershala Ali, is also very frustrated with the process. Blade will release on November 3rd, 2023 and is currently in production, sort of. The film will star Mahershala Ali as the Daywalker Blade, but also features Delroy Lindo and Aaron Pierre. Blade will take place in the MCU, but besides that, we know almost nothing about this project other than the fact that Wesley Snipes was not invited to appear in the reboot. According to The Hollywood Reporter, though, Bassam Tariq has left the MCU film as director. Also, according to Jeff Snyder, the actor Mahershala Ali is extremely frustrated with the process. According to Snyder, the script for Blade is only 90 pages long and features 2 lackluster action sequences. If this is accurate, it sounds like trouble for this MCU film. The film has been suffering delayed production start dates for a while, and with Tariq's exit and the news about Ali, this might not be starting anytime soon. This news is incredibly disappointing. I know I've been looking forward to this Blade movie from the moment that it was announced. Mahershala Ali is one of my favorite actors, and the idea of him portraying Blade seemed like an incredible stroke of genius by Kevin Feige and company. If you can't get Wesley Snipes to reprise his role, or if you don't invite him, then getting an Oscar-winning actor or nominated actor is obviously the next best thing. And what is this about 2 lackluster action sequences? A character like Blade carries a big shadow from the previous franchise and the versions of it, so there are expectations for this film to be action heavy. This doesn't sound good, and now I'm worried that Marvel doesn't understand the assignment. Unfortunately, that's all I have for this one. Guys, do me a favor. If you like these videos, you want to see more news updates like this, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'll check you guys later. Peace. So the Crow reboot starring Bill Skarsgård has wrapped production. So it's really happening. The Crow reboot is really happening. This film has been in the works for a while with several actors attached to the project. This latest iteration stars Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven and also features FKA Twigs and Danny Huston. Rupert Sanders is set to direct, and Zach Balan penned the script based on James O'Barr's original graphic novel. The plot for the upcoming film is unknown at the moment. We expect that this film will follow a similar story to the original film series and graphic novel. The original version of The Crow premiered in 1994 and starred Brandon Lee as Eric Draven. The beloved cult classic follows Eric Draven, a man who was brutally murdered but comes back to life as an undead avenger of his and his fiance's murder. The film had multiple sequels, however, none could quite capture the essence of the first film. The Crow, the original one, was pure magic, with fans and critics alike singing its praises. Maybe it was Lee's performance or a combination of things. The film has great reviews with an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics and 90% from fans. According to the website The Prague Reporter, The Crow reboot was a 10-week-long production and wrapped last week. The Crow was shot on location in many places in the Czech capital. The website is also reporting that one of the film's major set pieces was shot at Prague's Rodolfinum Concert Hall and features hundreds of extras in formal wear. Although we know next to nothing about the film, this news is sure to delight fans that have been waiting for this reboot. This is really exciting news for multiple reasons. First off, again, the film is actually happening. After a ton of false starts and rumors for what feels like forever about casting an actor for the lead role, it looks like it's really, really real. And with Bill Skarsgård, no less, which I'm totally on board for. I love the original film with Brandon Lee. I can't wait to see what Skarsgård can do in the role. The story from the graphic novel is perfect, so it should be a slam dunk if they didn't mess with the formula too much. Sadly, The Crow doesn't have a release date, but we'll keep you posted with any updates. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. I'm going to keep you guys updated if there's more. If you like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'll check you guys later. Peace. So, Marvel Studios unveiled a plethora of new films and series at this year's San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Two of those projects are actually new Avengers movies, Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers The Kang Dynasty, both set to release in 2025. Following the news, we also learned that Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton will direct the Kang Dynasty with a script from Jeff Loveness of Rick and Morty fame. On the other hand, there's no confirmation on who's directing Secret Wars, but a new report suggests a possible writer for the new movie. Insiders claim that writer Michael Waldron could write Avengers Secret Wars. While there's been no official confirmation from Marvel Studios, a new Deadline report confirms that Waldron is in talks to write the script for the new Avengers movie. Insiders claim that having written Loki and the recent Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Waldron has built up a bit of trust within Marvel, so much so that the studio might entrust him with one of its most ambitious projects with Avengers Secret Wars. The comic Secret Wars was published back in 1984. The storyline saw the Beyonder, a cosmic entity, kidnap several Marvel superheroes and villains from Earth. He teleported them to a different planet known as Battleworld. The Beyonder then forces all the heroes and villains to fight one another, promising the winners their greatest desires. It was a Marvel Comics-wide event that saw characters like the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, the X-Men, Kang, Ultron, Doctor Doom, Deadpool, and countless others. The MCU version of Secret Wars will undoubtedly look different, given that many of these heroes have yet to make their MCU debut. Me personally, I'm a little torn with the news. I am very, very glad that this movie is happening in the first place, and it's moving forward and putting together a team of creators. I'm a little concerned that it's the same writer of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm not really a fan of the story in that movie, and after watching Assembled, the making of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I'm even more uneasy. The documentary was very eye-opening in learning that Marvel has a new process for making films that I just don't like. Marvel will actually begin on a film and start filming while they're still writing the movie. CGI and special effects are imagined during the filming process. However, complete story rewrites can and do occur while filming. This feels like there is no plan, and Marvel is just throwing crap at the wall to see what sticks. I don't know why they do this, but it's a little worrisome to say the least. Anyway, I am curious what happens next and when we're going to get confirmation on the writer, but that's all I have for this one. Again, if you guys like updates like this, if you want to see more, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. So, the casting of William Hurt as General Thunderbolt Ross in that first MCU movie, The Incredible Hulk, was a huge get for the newly formed Marvel Studios at the time. Hurt's General Ross played a significant part in MCU movies like Captain America: Civil War as a kind of antagonist. With Hurt's passing in March 2022, the world lost a great actor, and with him, any possibility of the character reappearing in future MCU movies. But there is a new rumor about Harrison Ford in Thunderbolts, the new MCU movie named after the character himself. Thunderbolts is a new movie that is almost like Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. It's a group of anti-heroes and villains that are commissioned and authorized by the government to go on assignments to protect America's interests. In the comics, the group's name came from General Thunderbolt Ross himself, given he was their leader. With the new movie still planned to release despite Hurt's death, the rumor of Harrison Ford in Thunderbolts kind of makes sense. As reported by Jeff Snyder, an entertainment journalist on Twitter, the rumor suggests that the Indiana Jones 5 actor was Marvel's first choice for the recast. Snyder does admit that it's unclear if there have been direct conversations with Ford as of yet, or if he actually passed on the role or not. He also confirms that many insiders actually deny the report, but Marvel has a long history of denying things that end up happening. Some examples include Tatiana Maslany denying that she was cast as She-Hulk until official confirmation, and Andrew Garfield lying to the world for a whole year about being in Spider-Man No Way Home. Harrison Ford in Thunderbolts is a very interesting idea, with reports stating that Kathleen Kennedy put a stop to the official announcement of the casting at D23. The Star Wars icon would be the right age and look for the character, and Ford has shown the ability to play the grumpy, bossy character archetype many times in movies like Blade Runner 2049. What's most exciting about this is that General Thunderbolt Ross in the comics eventually becomes the red version of the Hulk. Red Hulk is a more intelligent and in-control version of the Hulk, initially created to fight the green version, Bruce Banner. However, over time, the character becomes a good guy rather than an antagonist and even joins the Avengers at one point. It's intriguing to say the least. Harrison Ford in Thunderbolts could eventually lead to us getting the Red Hulk in the MCU. While this is interesting, it's not lost on me that Harrison Ford is like 80 years old. I don't know if he would be up for the demands of a Red Hulk role in the future or even in this film, but I hope so. The Thunderbolts will release in theaters in 2024. So that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'll check you guys later. Peace. The Now You See Me franchise is going ahead with a third movie, and it's coming from the director of the film Venom. Yes, now that the director is responsible for bringing to life the unexpected box office hit Venom for a feature film debut, the same director will now be breathing new life back into the magical heist film franchise. The first two films in the franchise were moderate successes, and with confirmation now of Ruben Fleischer directing Now You See Me 3, apparently the show will go on. The Now You See Me movies are all about a group of illusionists planning elaborate heists under the guise of magic shows. The first film starred Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, Dave Franco, and Mark Ruffalo in leading roles. The sequel added Daniel Radcliffe to the mix as well. The movies blended a bit of con man heist movie formula mixed in with some amazing illusions and magic for a pretty interesting and entertaining film to watch. The exclusive report from Deadline confirms that Ruben Fleischer is going to be directing, which is to infuse some new magic into this franchise. This movie feels like it's coming out of nowhere for some of us. I haven't thought about this franchise in ages. The first Now You See Me movie was pretty cool. The second was okay, but neither film left me begging for more. The idea of these magicians that are also international con men and thieves was cool the first and second time, but the second movie felt like it relied a little too heavily on the cameos and the star power and not enough on the story itself. We'll see what this one does to regain my interest. Otherwise, I'm worried that this will become the magical Fast and Furious and be more about stunts than story. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. If you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. So the upcoming Star Trek sequel recently lost its release date and has been removed from Paramount's release slate. Yikes. The rebooted film franchise began in 2009 with the aptly named film Star Trek. Subsequent films in the series include Star Trek Into Darkness and Star Trek Beyond. The series stars Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, Anton Yelkin, John Cho, Simon Pegg, and Carl Urban. It's based off the beloved original series, and this new series of films followed the same captain, James T. Kirk, and his crew on their missions aboard the USS Enterprise. The follow-up to Star Trek Beyond lost its December 23rd, 2023 release date, and like I said, it's been completely removed from Paramount's release slate. The film has been in development hell for a while, and this doesn't look good for the beloved franchise. The untitled sequel, like I said, was going to release in December and was originally supposed to be directed by Matt Shakman, but the director exited the project about a month ago to direct Fantastic Four for Marvel. Other than that, we know very little about the project, and this development doesn't look good at all. Thankfully, the Star Trek franchise is doing pretty well on Paramount Plus. They have Picard and a few other shows doing nice things. The Star Trek franchise has always had a shaky transition to film, and this may be a sign of Paramount showing cold feet after losing J.J. Abrams' chosen director. The only thing I could see getting this project back on track would be if Abrams himself decides to direct, but I don't think he's interested in getting in the director's chair. He's been kind of staying away from that ever since Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. We'll see what happens, but that's all I have for this one. Again, if you guys like these little quick news updates, please do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm gonna check you guys later. Peace. Okay, all right. Are you sitting? Sit down and relax because I have some bad news. Marvel Studios has put Blade on hold. Yeah, After the departure of director Bassam Tariq, it seems Marvel is restructuring their release calendar for several other projects as well. Blade was originally announced by Marvel at the San Diego Comic-Con 2019 alongside other projects like The Eternals, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, WandaVision, Loki Season 1, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, What If Season 1, Hawkeye, Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Widow. No wonder Mahershala is frustrated because all of these projects have already released while his project has yet to even begin production. The news doesn't get any easier from here. We're also learning that several other Marvel projects have shifted release dates. Big projects too. One that very recently announced their initial release date and are now getting new release dates as a result of today's news. Projects such as Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, and Avengers Secret Wars are all getting rescheduled. Marvel Studios has been releasing movies since 2008, and it feels like that they rarely shift their release dates. In fact, Marvel Studios is notorious for introducing entire slates of films and then sticking to said states. Their plans are meticulous and usually go with little issue. That's what makes this news of release dates changing so alarming. Marvel Studios has decided to pause Blade, according to The Hollywood Reporter, and has also shifted the release dates on Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, and Avengers Secret Wars. Blade's release date is moving from November 3rd, 2023 to September 6, 2024. The Blade movie is currently looking for a director, which explains the delay on the project. The recently confirmed Deadpool 3 has also moved its release date and is moving from September 6, 2024 to November 8, 2024. This is a big surprise considering the project just announced the inclusion of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and was seeming to begin early promos. Fantastic Four is also moving with its release date, changing from November 8th, 2024 to February 14th, 2025. Lastly, and most certainly not least, Avengers Secret Wars is moving from November 7th, 2025 to May 1st, 2026. And we are no longer getting 2 Avengers films in a 6-month period. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty's release date is currently unaffected. I am all sorts of bummed by this news. These changes and dates are a tough pill to swallow given with how Marvel has spoiled us with their accurate planning with prior projects. Usually you can set a watch to their slates, but this recent news kind of turns that idea on its head. I understand that this is also not like these films were supposed to come out anytime soon, except for maybe Blade, and most of these films are at least 2 years away from a release, so I'm going to be patient. I really feel bad for Mahershala out of everyone involved. Mahershala's acting releases have slowed since his announcement to join the MCU, and I wonder if he's had to decline work while he's waiting for this movie to begin production. 4 years is a very long time to be inactive in this field, and I would love to see him in more movies. Maybe it's the Marvel fanboy in me, but any news that isn't good news always makes me nervous. Hopefully that's the last of the alarming news and things go smoothly from here. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. So Marvel Studios head honcho Kevin Feige teases the return of Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, in the MCU. As a character, Wanda Maximoff grows over the course of several films. She first appears in Avengers Age of Ultron, and her relationship with the Vision is a huge through line in the MCU. And she makes appearances in several films from that point forward, including the series WandaVision. But it was her role in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness that really showed just how far she had evolved. She basically made a full villainous heel turn and became the antagonist of the film. It appears as though Wanda perishes at the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but according to Kevin Feige, that may not be the end for the Scarlet Witch in the MCU. In a recent interview with Variety, Kevin Feige teased the return of the Scarlet Witch to the MCU. Now, he doesn't outright say that she is returning, but he does admit that he loves working with Elizabeth Olsen. He also makes a cryptic statement about how anything is possible in the multiverse. But does this really mean that we could see a version of the Scarlet Witch in some form in the future? Maybe, but it may not be our Wanda Maximoff from Earth 616. The full quote reads as follows. There really is so much more to explore. We still haven't touched on many of her core storylines from the comics. I'd work with Lizzie for another 100 years if anything's possible in the multiverse. We'll have to see. So that's a very eye-opening tease of a statement. Plus, it's cool to hear the nicknames that Feige has for the actors in the MCU. Lizzie. I love the idea of the Scarlet Witch returning in the future, and I could care less if the Scarlet Witch we see down the road is a variant or not. It doesn't bother me with Loki, and it won't bother me here. My theory is that we've already met our new Scarlet Witch, and the version of the Scarlet Witch that we're going to get in the future is the one from Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Not the villainous one, the one that got dream walked into. It would be so cool if she inherits the power of a Nexus being after the death of the 616 Wanda and redeems her character. I'm open to the idea, and I can't wait to see how this all unfolds in Secret Wars. Can you imagine meeting a new version of Wanda that doesn't know the Vision, and then White Vision meeting her? Mind-blowing. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. Do me a favor, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm gonna check you guys later. Peace. So, Netflix's live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender series is currently in production and just added a whole bunch of new actors to its already incredible cast. After a failed live-action film from M. Night Shyamalan back in 2010, the new series is highly anticipated. The exit of the original creators of the animated series worried the show's longtime fans. However, the announcements of Avatar: The Last Airbender's live-action cast did a lot to alleviate a lot of those concerns. With 20 more cast additions, these concerns are getting lower and lower. Avatar: The Last Airbender is the story of a boy named Aang. This boy wakes up in a war-torn world full of elemental magic. Aang then embarks on a mythic quest to fulfill his destiny as the long-prophesized Avatar. The Avatar is a being of legend who can master control of all four elemental forms of magic. As reported by Variety, the Avatar: The Last Airbender live-action cast adds some amazing new actors to the show, most notable of which is Amber Midthunder, who plays Princess Yu, the spiritual leader of the Northern Water Tribe. Joining her are Utkarsh Ambudkar, Danny Pudi, Lucian River Chauhan, and they're playing citizens of the Earth Kingdom. C.S. Lee from Dexter plays Roku, the incarnation of the Avatar that directly precedes the main protagonist of the show, Aang. Something I didn't mention is that the spirit of the Avatar reincarnates in a new person at the time of their death. So the Avatar is an eternal being inhabiting new people. The legendary George Takei joins the cast of Avatar: The Last Airbender as the voice of Ko, an ancient spirit, along with many other various calibers. The new cast members are joining the previously announced Ken Leung playing Commander Zhao, an antagonist, and Daniel Dae Kim, who plays the main villain of the series, Fire Lord Ozai. Along with the main lead, Gordon Cormier as Aang, Kaiowente as Katara, and accompanying them on this journey is Ian Owsley as Sokka, brother of Katara. I have to admit that I'm still a little nervous about this adaptation of my precious Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love what I'm hearing about the casting, though. And I love that they're casting Asian actors to play Asian characters. Call me crazy. This show, to me, is one of the best shows in television history, the animated version, and it deserves a great adaptation. Originally, the creators of the cartoon were involved. They walked away. I'm a little nervous about that, but I want to remain optimistic about this one because I really want it to be awesome. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. There's a large new cast. There's lots of news. This project is real. It's coming. Let me know what you think of this news in the comments. And if you like this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. So Warner Brothers Discovery is now being sued by the Illinois Police Pension Board and is accused of misleading shareholders about the number of HBO Max subscribers. Warner Brothers Discovery has been in a really rocky transition ever since the two companies merged earlier in the year. The road to success seems like a long road for the company after a series of questionable moves and choices. About a month ago, Warner Brothers Discovery shocked the world when they canceled the now infamous Batgirl film. On top of that, several projects have slowed Release dates have shifted, and no one really knows what's going on with the DC Films division. The president of DC Films, Walter Hamada, almost quit after the Batgirl debacle, but agreed to stay on until the release of Black Adam in October. Then there's everything that's going on with Legendary Entertainment looking to part ways with Warner Brothers Discovery after all this mess. And who can blame them? Needless to say, Warner Brothers Discovery is in a bit of a rut right now, and it looks like things are going to get worse before they get better. A lawsuit filed by the Collinsville Police Pension Board, a shareholder of Warner Brothers Discovery stock, claims that the company cooked the books on the number of HBO Max subscribers. They're accusing Warner Brothers Discovery of misleading shareholders and overstating the number of HBO Max subscribers by as many as 10 million. Warner Media seems to have included customers of AT&T who received a bundled service plan but did not actually subscribe to the platform. CEO David Zaslav and CFO Gunnar Weidenfels are named as defendants in the lawsuit. The news reads as follows. Warner Media has improvidently concentrating its investments in streaming and ignoring its other business lines, and overstated the number of subscribers to HBO Max by as many as 10 million subscribers, by including as subscribers AT&T customers who had received bundled access to HBO Max, but had not signed onto the service. This is crazy. The idea that HBO Max is lying about subscriber base just sounds nuts. And the fact that they're cooking the books by saying that it's bundled with their AT&T users who actually never signed up for the platform is ridiculous. We're talking about the home of Lord of the Rings, The Wire, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, not to mention these DC films. Are we really living in a world where people are getting free HBO Max subscriptions through AT&T and aren't using it? And is HBO really including these users just to inflate their subscriber numbers with all of this rich content available? What is really going on in these streaming wars? First Netflix, now this. I can't help but wonder what the heck's going on with Disney Plus. Anyway, that's all I have. This one's crazy. If you guys like these updates, you want to see more, do me a favor. Please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. So the actor who plays M'Baku, Winston Duke, has officially weighed in on the recast T'Challa controversy. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is set to release on November 11, 2022, and there is a controversy surrounding the mantle of the Black Panther in the film. Kevin Feige himself said that it was too soon to recast T'Challa. However, many believe that a non-immediate recast of T'Challa is necessary to continue the legacy of the character. The recast T'Challa movement has spread across the internet, but it seems that Marvel has no plans to recast Black Panther. M'Baku himself, Winston Duke, has shared his opinion on the recast T'Challa controversy on the Jamel Hill is Unbothered podcast. The actor states that, in his mind, the role of the Black Panther belongs to Chadwick Boseman, and the character wouldn't be the same without him. He believes that Boseman was quintessential in the formation of the character as we know him. He also states that as an actor, everything you are is poured into the character. So, in his mind, the role of the Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman are one and the same. The full comment reads as follows. I think for this insertion of Black Panther, it's very hard for me to really comment on something like that, because I'm of the mind that this is Chadwick's role. Chadwick created this, and Black Panther wouldn't be the same without Chadwick Boseman, who stood for the things that he stood for. When you cast a person, you're also casting their experiences. You're casting their politics. You're casting their all of these things. Black Panther was heavily defined by the actor that did it, in my opinion. Now, I really empathize with the cast of this movie. I really do. I can't help but feel that these guys are too close to the story and are tying the character with their real friend. It's as if by not recasting, they're helping themselves, which is understandable, but it's hurting those of us who want to see the character again. This is extremely frustrating to me. As you guys likely know, we broke the news about the hashtag Recast T'Challa petition right here on this channel, on the Correct Opinion podcast, in our other playlist. I don't want to cause these guys any pain, but after so many characters in the MCU have been recast, it's extremely disappointing that we may not see the only male Black lead character again because of these reasons. I know Captain America 4 and Armor Wars are coming, but I hold a lot of excitement for the character of Black Panther himself. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. Sylvester Stallone recently confirmed that the new Rambo movie sequel will have the character pass the torch to a younger successor. Now, Rambo first premiered in the movie First Blood in 1972 and starred Sylvester Stallone in the title role of John Rambo. Since the first film, there have been 4 other feature-length films and even one animated TV series. The plot of each Rambo film is slightly different, but they usually share similar elements. The Rambo series revolves around an ex-Special Forces operative named John Rambo who serves as his very own one-man army. So much so that his name has become a meme or shorthand for someone who's extremely badass and can kick ass. Again, Stallone confirmed these plot details in an interview and said that the studio wants to do a modern day tale. The quote reads as follows: "I think it's going to happen. I wanted to do it like a Ken Burns documentary on Vietnam, where you drop young Rambo in there and he's this outgoing guy, football captain, and then you see why he becomes Rambo. But what they want to do is a modern day story where I pass the torch." That's getting close. I was really curious to see a prequel rather than a passing of the torch story. It could just be me, but there have been films like the Die Hard franchise that attempt to pass the torch to a new character that just don't resonate with me. I would love to see more Rambo, as he's the 70s equivalent of the Punisher, but we'll see how things develop from here and if it'll look good enough to watch with whomever they cast as the inheritor of the role. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a big favor. Please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to have to check you guys later. Peace. So, Amazon Prime Video's Carnival Row was one of the streamer's flagship shows, at least when it comes to its unique visual appeal and incredible new fantasy storyline. When it premiered, the series also got a Season 2 renewal well ahead of its Season 1 debut, something that Amazon Prime Video is sort of used to doing. However, it seems like delays in production due to the COVID pandemic made it not worth the streamer's while to continue the show. A new report confirms Amazon's Carnival Row's cancellation, and it is a sad day for fantasy fans. Just like The Boys revolutionized adult superhero stories, so did Carnival Row, bringing a new fantasy flavor to Amazon Prime Video. The new series was a solid blend of fantasy, romance, and a period setting, and many other concepts that made it such a treat to watch. The show stars Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne. Carnival Row was all about a world set in Victorian London where fairies, fauns, witches, and other fantasy creatures live together with humans. The world sees these creatures leave their war-torn homeland and move in among humans. A new report from The Hollywood Reporter now confirms that Amazon canceled Carnival Row after its 2 seasons, which is a little baffling, to be honest. It seems that all the issues and delays in production due to the pandemic may be what caused the show's cancellation. It was probably just not worth it for Amazon to continue production amidst a high cost to keep Season 2 in production during COVID. That makes it a sad day, given that the show was one of the streamer's flagship programs. But it's also apparent how the delays may have ballooned expenses, also given the amount of the visual effects required on a show such as this when compared to, for example, Jack Ryan, which is another Prime Video original and flagship show. Carnival Row was just too expensive. Carnival Row Season 2 will premiere on February 17, 2023 on Amazon Prime Video, but we just won't see a Season 3. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. Ryan Reynolds is next time playing Deadpool. might be his last, according to the actor himself. Deadpool has a long history in film, with the actor first bringing the character to life in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Now, that particular interpretation of the character is not so popular with fans due to it not being anything at all like the character in the comic. He didn't even have a mouth. That said, the character makes a stunning return in his solo film, with the movie enjoying an 85% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Deadpool 2 brought back the character, and fans and critics alike praised the film, with that one sitting at an 84% approval. Deadpool 3 was recently announced, and they even announced the return of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine for one more movie. Surprisingly, Ryan Reynolds is sharing that this will likely be his last film as the Merc with the Mouth. In an interview with the Jess Cagle Show, Reynolds said he'll only be playing the Merc with the Mouth one more time in the yet untitled Deadpool 3, due out in November 2024. He said, "I'll only be doing Deadpool for the next 2 years. That's it, just the one movie." And this is pretty shocking news, considering we're only now getting this character in the MCU proper. Lots of fans, myself included, are looking forward to seeing the character interact with so many MCU characters we haven't even seen Deadpool mess around with or join the Avengers. There's so much potential for appearances of Deadpool in the MCU that this is a gut punch, to say the least. Ryan Reynolds could be posturing for, contractual negotiations, as he may be doing the film as part of a previous deal with Fox. With Disney buying Fox, it stands to reason that they inherited Ryan's contract along with the film rights. In that circumstance, we might be able to hold out hope for more Deadpool in the future, especially if this next film does well in the box office. This is a bummer, but I hope that we'll hear more about this in the future. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys out later. Peace. So the Gears of War franchise is one of my favorite video game franchises from the mid-2000s from Microsoft. Well, originally from Epic. The Gears of War video game franchise is from a time in gaming when the Xbox 360 was regularly disrupting the video game world. Epic Games' amazing franchise brings a whole new level of realism and grit to the shooting genre with its innovative mechanics and controls. And the franchise is so popular that Microsoft made the decision in securing and buying the Gears of War IP from developer Epic Games. The early 2000s were an awesome time in gaming, and who could forget Cliffy B's updates about Marcus Phoenix and his epic chainsaw gun? That, and shout out to Major Nelson. We're learning that the franchise will return, but this time in a live action movie and an animated series for adults from Netflix. The news reads as follows. Netflix has announced 2 new Gears of War projects with a live action movie and an adult animated series. Gears of War centers on the war between an alien horde called the Locust and the remnants of humanity, which are led by the Coalition of Ordered Governments. Initially, the games follow protagonist Marcus Phoenix and his fellow soldiers. The franchise later moved to focus on Marcus's son, JD, while also introducing a new threat called the Lambent. Announced by Netflix on the 16th birthday of the first Gears of War title, geez, for 16 years, the franchise is finally getting a well-deserved adaptation. Declared as a partnership between Netflix and developers The Coalition, Gears of War will receive both a live-action movie and the adult animated series. Further teasing the adaptation, Netflix also confirmed that there's potential for more stories in the universe to be developed after the confirmed 2 projects. I think this is pretty awesome news, especially after the success of Halo on Paramount Plus, which just recently released on DVD and Blu-ray, the announcement of the BioShock movie, and more. Things are just really looking good for a Gears of War movie to be developed. Halo proved that sci-fi video games adaptations can be awesome, and this has the potential to be among the best. That said, I need to make one thing perfectly clear. I will not accept anyone other than Dave Bautista as Marcus Phoenix. That's all I have for now. Anyway, if you guys like these updates, especially this one, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to check you guys later. Peace. Now, this is some surprising news. We're learning that the upcoming Disney Plus show from Marvel, Agatha Coven of Chaos, is adding Joe Locke to the cast. Joe Locke is known for appearing in the Netflix series Heartstopper as Jack Spring. Joe Locke will join the cast of Agatha Coven of Chaos and will appear in the series alongside star Kathryn Hahn. The unexpected news comes from Deadline and reads as follows. Locke's character and plot details are being kept under wraps, but sources describe the character as a gay teen with a dark sense of humor. Hahn is reprising her role as WandaVision bad gal Agatha in the series. Emetha Caulfield Ford is set to reprise the role of Dottie from WandaVision. Now, these reports have the internet buzzing with theories about what character Locke will play. The most popular idea is that he's going to appear as an older version of Wanda and Vision's fictional child, Billy. In the comics, Billy becomes a sorcerer and is able to channel chaos magic a bit like his mother. He goes by the name of Wiccan and is one of the most prominent gay superheroes in Marvel Comics. I personally like this casting a lot. Joe Locke looks perfect as Wiccan, and I could totally see him as the character moving forward. I'm going to check out an episode or two of Heartstopper to get a better feel for the actor, but I have a good feeling about this one. So far, Agatha Coven of Chaos is looking like it will enter production sooner than later, and we're expecting the show to premiere on Disney Plus next year. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to have to check you guys later. Peace. The DC Universe is moving ahead with writer-director James Gunn at its helm and producer Peter Safran as well. While we've gotten nothing official about what the first move will be, we have a pretty good theory now. Gunn did confirm that they will not be looking back at re-releasing any of the old DC Extended Universe projects like David Ayer's Suicide Squad, but a recent social media post is sparking excitement about a potential new project. James Gunn recently posted on Mastodon with an image of the DC Comics anti-hero Lobo. This is prompting many fans to theorize that this is a tease to what Gunn and Safran's first DC Studios project will be. Not completely related to Gunn's post, Jason Momoa, who plays Aquaman in the DCEU, is now promoting his new movie Slumberland. During these promotions, he spoke to Entertainment Tonight Canada about Gunn's plans for the DCU. Now, Momoa didn't say a lot, but did reveal that one of his dream projects is coming true under Gunn and Safran. Jason Momoa has long been a fan cast as the only actor who can bring Lobo to live action. Lobo first appeared in 1983 in DC Comics and was created by Roger Silver and Keith Giffen. The character is a galaxy-trotting bounty hunter and mercenary. The character started as a villain and is one of the most badass DCU characters ever. He quite literally does whatever he wants, however he wants, whenever he wants to. He's shown as a character with incredible strength, capable of going toe-to-toe with Superman, and has the incredible ability to regenerate and heal, similar to Deadpool, but to a much greater extent, even being capable of regenerating his entire body from a single drop of blood. Momoa's statements about his dream project, along with Gunn's Lobo image drop, could indicate Jason Momoa as Lobo in the first DCU project. But the obvious elephant in the room is the fact that Jason Momoa is already cast as Aquaman in the DCEU and has a sequel releasing. Aquaman The Lost Kingdom releases on December 25th, 2023. So, at least for the next year, Momoa is still Aquaman in the DCEU. If this Lobo project is a possibility, what does that mean for his role of Aquaman going forward? Will Momoa be both Lobo and Aquaman? Or is this the first sign that Gunn and Safran are scrapping the DCEU and recasting those roles? There's so many different ways that this can play out. With Aquaman being popular enough to gross $1 billion, do fans really want to see Jason Momoa leave that role behind? Questions. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'm going to have to check you guys later. Peace. I love Lupita Nyong'o as an actress. Lupita has grown into an impressive actress over the years, starring in Marvel films, Star Wars films, Us, and more. Lupita is an actress with a great amount of range, and we're learning that we will see her flex that range in the horror genre once again. After appearing in Little Monsters and Us, Lupita will revisit horror for the John Krasinski franchise A Quiet Place in an upcoming film. Sources tell Deadline that she is in final negotiations to star in Paramount's A Quiet Place Day One. The spinoff will be directed and written by Pig Helmer Michael Sarnowski. Not much more is known about this project other than it not being a threequel, but rather a spinoff based on an idea from John Krasinski, who directed and starred in the first two films. The hope is that this film will help set up a potential Quiet Place universe that the studio can build on for years to come. Now, this news is surprising, and I have to admit I have mixed feelings about this one. On one hand, I love the idea of Lupita joining this franchise. I think she has a lot of talent and can add a unique angle of storytelling based on how they approach it. On the other hand, I'm like, A Quiet Place universe? This being a spin-off is surprising, and I initially thought the announcement was for A Quiet Place Part 3. That third film is in production with John Krasinski directing that film, but this spin-off is testing the waters for a cinematic universe. Do we really need A Quiet Place universe? I could totally see a spin-off TV series if handled with care. Film studios are hoping to find franchises to sustain them, so I get it. The spinoff is going to have to justify itself, but they're at least on the right track with this casting. I can't wait to see how the internet reacts to this news about a cinematic universe. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. As usual, if you guys like these news updates and want to see more, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'll check you guys later. Peace. DC Studios is officially changing the hierarchy of comic book films. Right on the heels of the exit of DC Films president Walter Hamada from Warner Brothers Discovery comes the announcement that there's a new regime in place. The Hollywood Reporter is breaking the news that director James Gunn and producer Peter Safran will lead the newly formed DC Studios as co-CEOs and co-chairs. The news reads as follows. In a stunning turn of events, filmmaker James Gunn and producer Peter Safran have been tapped to lead DC Films, TV, and animation efforts as co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios, a newly formed division at Warner Brothers that will replace DC Films. The unprecedented move, in which a top director will assume a top executive post, marks the end of a months-long search for Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav to replace DC Films boss Walter Hamada, who departed the studio last week. That search had all of Hollywood guessing and playing executive bingo for who would land one of the most coveted and challenging jobs in town. Wow, this move makes a lot of sense for Warner Brothers Discovery. James Gunn successfully takes obscure comic book characters and makes them household names like Groot, Drax, and Peacemaker. In addition, Peter Safran has produced practically all of the popular and more successful DC films at Warner Brothers, like Shazam and Aquaman, and he will be in charge of the business side of things. This news is extremely shocking and also extremely exciting for the newly formed DC studios. It's no secret that I'm not the biggest fan of James Gunn's films, but I am a massive fan at his nerddom. He's the only director I know to organize and play a Marvel versus DC baseball game at his own wedding, proving he's a geek among geeks. I am excited at the idea of having someone extremely familiar with the source material in charge of choosing the talent that's going to be associated with the films moving forward. This guy gets it. I can't wait to see what will happen now that Gunn has been given the keys to the kingdom. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. What do you guys think of this news? Are you excited? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I definitely want to check out other opinions on this one. Anyway, as usual, if you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'll check you guys later. Peace. Stargate is one of those epic sci-fi franchises with the same appeal as the big boys like Star Trek and Star Wars. With multiple movies and series as part of a multimedia franchise, Stargate is simply put amazing. The co-creator of the entire franchise recently shared on social media news of a Stargate series cancellation. This means there will be no more Stargate in the near future for fans of the franchise. Now, Stargate originally was a 1994 movie starring Kurt Russell and James Spader. The movie's story was about how the discovery of a massive Egyptian ring hidden in a pyramid was actually a portal to another planet far from Earth. After traveling through the portal, the military led by Russell, along with a nerdy archaeologist in Spader, discover a human society that still worships the Egyptian gods. The movie spawned a new spin-off series that continued the stories. The SG-1 series even spawned a spin-off that used the mythical Atlantis as a premise. Coincidentally, the Atlantis series saw Jason Momoa as one of the show's leads years before he became the hero of the DC universe's Atlantis and Aquaman. The interaction on social media was posed by a fan when asked to Brad Wright, the creator, "Hey Brad, is there any news about the possible new Stargate series? Thanks. P.S. Funnily enough, I've only just discovered the show thanks to my boyfriend and I'm a 90s kid. PPS, Stargate universe was the best. Please keep the big personal stakes going. It was great." And Brad Wright actually responded and said, "Thanks, but you won't hear news from me. MGM did hire me to write a pilot for a new show, but that was just before COVID hit. Timing couldn't have been much worse. All the players have changed in the interim, so it's likely destined to gather dust." Would have been fun though. This is sad news, given that Stargate was one of those indie cult hit shows that spawned 3 different TV series and countless spin-off movies and had a beloved fan base. It used unique concepts of mythology, history, and existing concepts to create engaging and interesting stories. Are you guys upset to hear about the Stargate series cancellation? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This way we can all be sad together. Anyway, that's all I have for this one as usual. If you guys like these updates, you want to see more, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, I'll check you guys later. Peace.